African Cultural Festival, MACUFE, and that kicks off in Bloemfontein today. The 10-day arts, culture and music extravaganza is once again expected to attract thousands of revelers. And let's cross now to our reporter Palesa Moeti for more on what's likely to go down there. Palesa?
Well, good morning. We're still here at Naval Hill, which is a game reserve here in the city of Bloemfontein. But joining us right now is the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture, Mema Taboleto, who's just going to tell us, what does it take for her department to host an event of this magnitude. Mema Tabo, thank you very much for your time, Me.
Thank you very much, Palesa, and thank you for having me.
May just tell us, what does it take for your department? It's now the 21st year of MACUFE here in Mangaung. What does it take for you to be able to host an event of this magnitude?
Palesa, it takes the whole entire executive of the Free State and the Free State government, including municipalities here, but it also includes South Africa, because stakeholders that are involved in organizing MACUFE, it's not only the department. That's why this year we are now 21 years. It's just a result of involving all other relevant stakeholders to bring MACUFE.
MACUFE throughout the years was not all smooth sailing. It faced a few challenges. Can you take us back to where MACUFE comes from and also where it is right now as a festival, as a tourist attraction in Mangaung?
As you are correctly saying, Palesa, MACUFE, it's now a brand of the Free State, it's a brand of South Africa. It's also a brand for tourism in the Free State. Every time when MACUFE comes, you know that there are people from all over South Africa coming here, and also people from the world who are coming, because we have international artists that are always performing here. Now, yes, of course, there has been challenges with MACUFE. Challenges will always be there, but what becomes important is whether do we have a capacity to deal with those challenges. Now, these challenges, we always come together as stakeholders and engage and finally get solutions, because each and every program will always have challenges. But MACUFE, you remember, it started very small, and now we're able to pull more than 100,000 people coming to MACUFE. We're also hopeful this year because we're celebrating the centenary of our icon Nelson Mandela and our heroine May Albertina Sisulu, and we're also 21 years as MACUFE. Now, you would understand what does it mean when a program is 21 years. It means that that program can be able to stand on its own. Currently, MACUFE is 100% funded by the provincial government of the Free State, and within MACUFE, we also have a program that we call Homebrew. Homebrew is where we're giving emerging artists for them to come and showcase their talent, so that we must also make sure that we develop them to be able to go to the bigger stage of MACUFE. So if you look at MACUFE, normally people think that it's these ticketed events that are happening only. But MACUFE is happening for 10 days. And during those 10 days, we have programs every day where the artists with different genres in the Free State, they come and perform, and the department empowers them and also pay them. So there's a lot of people benefiting out of MACUFE. But I think what is important is that MACUFE is also contributing positively to the economic growth of the Free State, because when MACUFE happens, you would remember that there was a study conducted by the University of the Free State. That study indicated what is the contribution of MACUFE towards the economy of the Free State, the economy of Mangaung as a metro. So MACUFE is a brand that we don't want it to fade, but we want to grow it bigger and bigger, so that the whole world, when we talk about MACUFE every year, then they come to the Free State and see the Free State. Because remember, the Free State is where the ruling party was born, and we can't celebrate MACUFE without speaking about Wynberg, where our leaders came and formed the party that liberated the people of South Africa from the apartheid system.
Now, speaking about the number of people that MACUFE usually attracts, do we have enough beds to accommodate all these people?
Palesa, on that one, it's a big challenge of accommodating people on the hospitality areas that we have, the accommodation. But every year, we have been calling upon our people in the township here to say, here's an opportunity. So join the opportunity, avail your houses, and make sure that people are accommodated in Mangaung. So by now, because MACUFE is 21 years, I think in the township, if you go into the township, there are people who are ready to accommodate people, but not only in Bloemfontein. Remember, there's also neighboring towns. Brandfort is very nearer to Mangaung. Welkom, it's not that far. It's just 1 hour, 1.5 hours to drive to Bloemfontein. So we're saying all people that are in Mangaung, that are in Bloemfontein, Free State, let them take opportunities, because MACUFE happens every year. If a person did not take an opportunity this year, let them prepare for next year, October. That during the first week of October, when MACUFE is happening, they must be ready with accommodation, because one thing that would frustrate people not to come to MACUFE is the issue of the accommodation. Because remember, MACUFE takes time until very late, your 12 o'clock, your 1 a.m. So people want a place to sleep, so that they don't drive at night when they are tired, because driving at night, you know that there may be some fatalities that can happen. So we are working with the Tourism Authority in the Free State to make sure that they go into our townships as part of reviving the township economy, because accommodation is not supposed to be in town only. There in our townships, we need to revive our townships. Our people need to benefit from MACUFE. So we're working with all the departments of the Free State, the municipalities, to say, how do we make people of the Free State to have accommodation for visitors that are coming to MACUFE?
Now, MEC, in terms of economic injection, in terms of rands and cents, more specifically, normally how much does MACUFE generate? Let's look at last year. How much was it able to bring into Mangaung, more or less?
In actual fact, the figures, I don't have them now in my head, but we do have a report, as I indicated earlier on. We did it in 2016. We are still going to do 2017 and 2018 to actually, but that information is available. If you need it, you can get it. We can even give you the documented report about MACUFE.
MEC, thank you very much for your time. That is the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture, Mema Taboleto, just explaining to us what it takes for Mangaung to be able, or rather for the Free State to be able to host an event of this magnitude. We'll definitely give you more as the morning progresses, but for now we hand over to Valen with the sports news.